Hello, welcome to the Money Revelation Podcast, a podcast dedicated to giving you money revelations to ease your financial stress. My name is Brian, owner of Madeline Financial Coaching, where I am dedicated to helping stressed out couples gain control on their finances so they can live without money anxiety. I believe that each person's money journey is individualized, and there is not just one dedicated way to gain money clarity. Let's get going on this voyage as we explore money and personal topics to guide you to that set of financial dreams you have always thrived for. Thanks for being here, and I would be deeply grateful if you could like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. Hello. Welcome back to the Money Revelation, the Couples Money Revelation Podcast. I am Brian, your host, Coach Brian. And today's topic, inflation is not the problem. Your spending money mindset is. So thanks for joining me again today, you guys. Today is going to be kind of a day to really reflect on some thoughts and sights of what I'm seeing when it comes to relationships and money. I've had this conversation a few times over the last few weeks, to be honest with you. So up front, you guys, let's just talk about it. Money disagreements are at the top of the list for divorces. I'm not trying to be depressing and not trying to start depressing on a Friday, but facts are facts, you guys. They really are. Now, working with some of the couples the last few months, I started seeing a trend recently, really in my everyday conversations as well. It's plain and simple. Not all couples, we've talked about this before, not all couples are on the same page. They're really not. With their thoughts, their spending, their tracking, sometimes their family, their marriage, everything else as well. Some couples, honestly, still keep their finances separate. That's where we're going to start this week. Is keeping your finances separate a good idea? Let's talk about it, because that's why we're here, right? So overall, I'd say to that answer, and I'm going to expand on it, it's possible. It's possible. But in the long run, guys, everything molds back together. It really does. So a couple things that I go through of when I start coaching with couples and talking to couples about their relationship, their money, I ask a few questions very early on in our coaching, right? Some things to get their brain going. Or if they mention, we do keep some of our finances separate. We have separate accounts. Sometimes we have a joint account. Sometimes we don't even have a joint account. Here's what I bring out to them. What are your goals as a couple? Do you have kids? We're going to look at that. Those are a couple opening questions that would be addressed, obviously. Let's see. Bills, debts, paychecks. Are they all flowing to the same buckets in the long run? And when I say buckets, I mean you live in the same house. Your bills are her bills. Her bills are your bills. Partners are partners' bills, whatever it is. Then I kind of go into it as we get more into the depth. And I bring up the question to you today on this podcast. How's it going so far? Keeping them separate. Is your future feeling good, looking good? Or is it kind of feeling a bit unorganized and the feeling of, well, we're making it work type of feeling? These are all questions I ask. And these are questions I'm asking you today as you're listening or watching on YouTube here. If you feel this way, then honestly, you pretty much answered your own question. But here's where it really kicks in to be overwhelming from what I've seen. You're like, well, that's already a lot of stuff to think about. And yeah, that's all on my plate already. Often, you guys, I see when one of the two or both potentially run their own business or are a 1099 type of employee, which for you, those don't know, it's a non-W2. The employer, usually contractors, that kind of stuff, don't pay the taxes. So that's a whole nother conversation. Listen, it's great that one of you or both are running your own business, but it brings in a whole nother layer into the conversation with you. Now, you guys, you might let's just use one and one. One person has a W-2 job, salary, hourly, whatever. One runs their own company. And now we have a regular paycheck from one, right? And more of a random pay coming through whenever the business owner pays himself out or pays herself out, or, clients pay them, which could be sporadic throughout the month, causing headaches really on the bills side for sure. And more, groceries, debts, whatever, anything. We'll get into that. Plus, on top of this, everyone, businesses need stuff, right? So now expenses for the business come into play. So now we have bills, debts, let's see, kids, random pay 50% of the time, expenses on the business, taxes now, so much more. How could I possibly keep this organized? This is so overwhelming. Well, honestly, it's difficult. Running my own business, I've seen a lot of headaches too. But if I was going to give you some tips, and I'm going to give you just a couple quick ones because I like making these episodes short, but I wanted to give you some feedback. First off, just stop, you guys, and take a breath. Take a few deep breaths. I say that a lot. Nothing good comes out of more anxiety and more stress. More anxiety, more stress usually means, oh my God, this just happened. I'm going to go impulse buy something, or I'm going to go buy a bunch of coffee. I'm going to go, buy stuff on Amazon. I have to shop because I'm stressed out, or you're just making poor decisions around your family, or, shaking. I've had anxiety too. It doesn't make it any better, guys. Okay. Second, take a look around and come to a conclusion if this is really working or not, you guys. Analyzing your whole picture together, you will be able to tell pretty quickly. You guys can both do this. It's a big hill, oftentimes. It's a hill with hard work and persistence that you can get over. I promise you. I've seen it work, people. Listen, I'm not sitting here. I'm not coming on this podcast today and saying 100% of the time separate finances never work. It does from time to time, but it's kind of like also debt consolidation, another topic I talk a lot about on. There's a pretty good percentage, a high percentage that it doesn't always work. The big picture really needs to be, how are we as a couple going to get together and get our future X, Y, and Z goals without throwing darts in different directions? I love the dartboard theory, right? I'm just throwing darts, we're throwing darts, hoping to stick. We want bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. When you refocus on that and working together, you're going to hit a bunch of bullseyes. Promise you. Your goals, your anxiety, your money, your marriage, your partnership, everything will feel a whole lot better if you start looking at the huge picture as a family, as the future. What is working? Some stuff might be working. Others might not be working. It's okay to admit this isn't working and get with some type of professional if you need some help. All right. I hope this was very helpful for people. I thank you again from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. I'd love to hear your thoughts today on this week's episode. If you have further questions or you want to make some comments, MadelineFinancialCoaching.com. There's under the contact area. You can email me your thoughts. If you're watching on YouTube, drop your comments on what you think. All that good stuff. Share this maybe with someone or two that could benefit from this podcast today. So we will see you next time on the Couples Money Revelation podcast. As always, stay blessed, stay positive. We'll see you soon.